I have an interesting question for you. If you ask which job title everyone in the Agile community has heard of, but very few people surprisingly can accurately define exactly what they do, which title would I be talking about? If you said Scrum Master, you nailed it, because that's typically where people get the most hung up. If you ask 10 people what a Scrum Master does, you're likely going to get 10 completely different answers. They run a daily Scrum, they schedule sprint planning, they update Jira, they remove obstacles, they're our coach, they are the project manager for the team. And some of those answers are partially correct, but most of them are 100% incomplete. And that's becoming one of the biggest challenges facing Agile organizations today. Somewhere along the way, many companies unintentionally shrank one of the most influential leadership roles on an Agile team into something that's much smaller: the meeting facilitator, calendar manager, or process referee, someone who reminds everyone when the sprint review starts. And that's not what the Scrum Master role was designed to be, nor should it be used that way. In fact, if that's all your Scrum Master is doing, you're probably missing the greatest opportunity that role has to offer. Let's imagine for a minute two Scrum Masters. The first one arrives every morning with a checklist, starts the daily Scrum, updates the board, sends the reminders, schedules retrospectives, closes completed stories, generates reports, stays organized. Absolutely nothing wrong with those activities or objectives. They're important. But now let's look at the second Scrum Master. This person notices that two team members have stopped collaborating. They coach a product owner struggling to prioritize competing stakeholder requests. They help leadership understand why multitasking is slowing down their delivery, and they facilitate a difficult conversation before it becomes a lasting conflict. They identify organizational policies that create unnecessary delays. They mentor a new leader. They build trust across departments. They help people solve problems they didn't even realize they had. Which Scrum Master do you feel is going to create greater long-term value? The answer to this one's obvious. Yet many organizations still spend far more time measuring the first set of activities than the second. Why? Because administration is visible. Leadership often isn't. You can see a meeting on a calendar, but you can't always see trust being built. You can count completed ceremonies or tasks, but it's much harder to measure improved communication. You can track whether a retrospective actually happened. It's much more difficult to quantify whether people actually feel safe speaking up honestly during it. And that's the challenge. The most valuable work Scrum Masters perform often happens in between the ceremonies, not during them. This is especially important as artificial intelligence becomes more capable. AI has the power to summarize meetings, generate action items, organize documentation, track work, prepare reports, manage repetitive administration tasks. But here's the thing. I don't want to get hung up on AI again. AI cannot coach someone who's lost confidence. It can't rebuild a fractured relationship between departments. It can't inspire a struggling team after a difficult sprint. It can't help other leaders confront uncomfortable truths about their own behaviors. Those moments require empathy, curiosity, experience, emotional intelligence, the qualities that define exceptional leadership. We're also seeing interesting shifts across organizations regarding this. The best Scrum Masters are spending less time protecting the framework and more time protecting their teams. They're asking questions like, what's preventing this team from doing their best work? Or why are decisions that we're making from leadership taking so long? Or what conversations are we trying to avoid and why are we avoiding them? And those questions unlock transformation. They unlock opportunities, not because they change a process, but because they change how people think. Perhaps that's why the Scrum Master role continues to evolve. Today's Scrum Masters aren't just ceremony experts. They're organizational change management coaches, leadership partners, agents for change across the company, facilitators of continual improvement, builders of healthy teams, and perhaps most importantly, students of human behavior. Because every impediment eventually tracks back to people: communication, expectations, priorities, trust, alignment, or leadership. Technology can help us manage work. Only people can help other people grow. So, my challenge for you today is to take a moment and think about your Scrum Master. Or if you're a Scrum Master yourself, ask yourself a simple question. If every meeting disappeared tomorrow, every last one of them, what value would you still bring to the team? If that question is difficult for you to answer, don't be discouraged. Just see it as an invitation to try and coach more, to ask more questions, observe more, teach more, listen more, lead more. Because the future of the Scrum Master role won't be defined by calendars or ceremonies. It's going to be defined by the positive change we create in the lives of the people we serve. And that's work no meeting agenda could ever capture or do. So I can tell you the human element is still there. We just need to make sure that the human element is real. That's going to do it. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you have a topic you want us to discuss, learn more at agiledad.com. We'd love to hear from you. And as always, we encourage you to stay healthy, stay well, and stay agile, my friends. Until next time, do take care. Bye now.